Happy best day of the year, everyone. Happy draft day. Welcome to a brand new live stream edition of Box Office Beyond. If you're joining us for the first time, first and foremost, welcome. We break down all things box office predictions, projections, results, and our love of movies, and today, fantasy drafts. And this week's show, we're having our inaugural 2025 box office fantasy draft. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Zendig, and joining me each and every week on Box Office Beyond, he's always the Bruce Wayne to my Terry McGinnis. Carlos, how you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm a bit pissed off though, might I say?
Yeah.
That
was an uncharacteristic loss for me in these box office draft streets, but at the same time, new show, new year, new fortune with the box office pool and new friends as well, which is kind of exciting now that we've assumed stewardship of this year box office pool. So yeah, I'm crazy excited. Actually, I had a hard time finishing out the end of my workday because I was just like, you know what, I got other things on my brain right now.
Nice. I too as well am pissed because it's now second year in a row I've came in second and lost by a mere 300 million second year in a row. So yeah. Math has never been my strong suit, but that one happens to be my strong suit on that one. And I say we should bring everybody on. So as you said, Carlos, we got some people returning, and we got some newcomers that we're going to bring on the fold here. So let's just get this one out of the way, Carlos, because we have now to bring on our champion, our victor of 2024, the man who's finally dethroned you after so many years of trying. That is representing the Nerd Room, Team Rebel Scum, Mr. Tim. Timmy.
What is up, gentlemen? It feels good. Feels good to be champ. It feels good to be, I guess, tag team champs of the world when it comes to the box office fantasy draft. It took me, like 5 or 6 years to dethrone first Troy, and then Carlos came on the scene, and he got back-to-back years. And finally, after all these years, I am the champ of the box office pool. And I'd like to thank Marvel Studios, my wife, my children, Disney, all the shill stuff. I'd like to thank everybody there because it was Deadpool and Wolverine that brought me to the promised land with a little bit of help from Despicable Me.
It really was. Oh my God. Yeah,
I'm stoked to be here, gentlemen.
Thank you. It's great to have you back. I'm gonna put the final results again. Just crazy what everything turned out to be. So congratulations again, Tim. We'll see if your luck can carry over again. They say lightning doesn't strike twice. So just saying.
It does.
Just saying.
It strikes twice all the time.
Awesome. But all right, let's bring on the other duo, everybody's favorite finest gentlemen. They are representing world's finest, Nikko and Nick Caruso Jr. Gentlemen.
What's going on, my guys?
What can you say?
What are you gonna do?
What can you say? What are you gonna do? We tried.
You took a beat this year.
We put a lot of faith in Ryan Gosling and Tom Cruise, and it just didn't work out, man. You know,
some of those are trigger words for me. Be careful.
Yep.
Careful.
In what way?
Well, Tom Cruise. You know,
it's just, there's a nice moment of pause there. That'll play well.
Remember, he was very upset when we.
I was very upset, man. I still am.
He really thought that was going to be the plum of the draft, and it turned out to be a pretty much of a fizzle.
It's an ongoing theme because you guys did that to him as his full-time co-host. With Tom Cruise, and then he saddled me with freaking Glenn Powell for this. Yeah, he's like, we need to move on to the next generation.
the next guy.
Hey, at least one of those worked out in our favor, might I add.
I thought that taking Tom Cruise was going to be the end of V39. Like I thought that was it.
It was. You guys were there. It was quite a shock.
It was tense. It was tense for
there
weeks.
was definitely some. I think some bad feelings there for a little bit with Z. It's okay.
I don't know if he's over.
I would just like to know how many tickets to Sound of Freedom Zeddy bought to undermine.
Oh, that's funny.
Performance.
I boycotted the movie. That's it. I was done.
Zeddy sent a full church to Sound of Freedom.
only saw Mission Impossible twice. Saw Top Gun Maverick 15. I passed on to 13 other viewings. Nothing. Awesome. But all right, guys, let's get the final results. 2024. Let's put a pin in this year's. Let's see where everybody officially landed at, shall we? So, of course, look at that, Timbo. Congratulations! Look at that.
I'm gonna give a shout out to my partner Ian here, also.
Near landslide. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I think you were the one that had the summer. Actually, I mean, Beetlejuice. That turned out to be a monster hit. Joker 2 turned out to be the dud of the year. But I think what I want to really give kudos to is the Russos here because they picked the highest grossing domestic movie of the entire year. Deadpool and Wolverine was giving it a little bit of run for its money. But Inside and Out too, Caruso's, congratulations. You guys had no film that could top it. And it was your theory proved right.
Think of the children sometimes. Think of the children.
Yeah. That was a risky pick though, coming off Elemental. So good on you guys.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Everyone identified with having anxiety, and the world just ran with it.
Though. What a movie!
Yeah, no,
though.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love Inside Out too.
Yeah.
I think it's really good.
I think
the animation were the sleepers of this year. At least I think the only reason we really crossed the line is because of Despicable Me 4. Like that was what pushed it over, and I think that was like one of the sleeper picks of last year. I don't think I would have picked that. Ian picked that. And that was probably that's that $300 million that difference maker there. If I had to chose something like Ghostbusters second,
those two movies won it for you, arguably. So we will we'll see where everything shakes out here because we got one more team joining us, guys. So for the first time joining us in this new landscape, this new iteration of the box office fantasy pool is Team DC Unlimited. You've heard them, you've seen them before, you listen to their podcasts. If you don't, you should. We got Anthony, Chris, and Phil. So gentlemen, welcome aboard.
Well,
how's it going, guys?
Thank you guys, kind. Thank you for having us on.
Fresh meat. You guys stolen the rules, right? They get fourth pick for their first 3 rounds, right? That's how it works.
Good to know, Tim. Good to know. Didn't get that memo.
I think as king of the box office, I get to make rules now, don't I? Isn't that how it works, Eddie?
It's in the fine print. It's in the subtext. Yeah,
it's on the way in the bottom.
It's in the subtext.
All the way in the bottom. Yeah. So
Tim, I have no problem admitting that I would have lost last year because of Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Because I didn't think a big old cameo fest without a plot would have made as much money as it did.
Oh, you underestimate Marvel movies, brother.
Well,
Andrew.
Fired.
Andrew. What's up?
I just want to get Joker too.
Oh my! Wow.
Yeah, was that a shot at Marvel? Because I could lob a couple across the bow here at DC if we're doing
this. Let's stay on YouTube, gentlemen. Come on now. Let's not risk anything here. Don't want Mr. Gunn to take our feet down or something. You never know.
I don't think he will. It's not on Threads, so we're good.
There's some sensitivity going around right now.
This show's not on Threads, right? So we're good.
I had to establish myself as a violent Caruso since my spiritual cousins here are so nice coming in.
Fair enough. Awesome. All right, gentlemen, real quick, we got some house clean business to do because this is a new iteration box office fantasy pool. So you guys, originally we were all playing for a beautiful silver Spidey. That's
Golden
no longer
Spidey.
Golden Spidey. Well, I guess we got the silver Spidey. Never mind, because we came in second. So Golden Spidey. So this trophy will not be mailed out, unfortunately. If anybody wants to buy an iteration of this, help yourself to brag in my face or spam it with me or whatever. But do be warned, if you do that to me, that's on you for what happens to you. But we will be playing for a little virtual Batman Beyond Golden Trophy here. Look at that.
Ooh,
Look at that.
That's gonna look pretty when I make it and put it
awesome.
behind me.
There you go. So, like I said,
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of those made just in
save the
case.
photo, do what you want, tweet at me 20 times a day with it, but do be warned if you do that, so help you God. And just know that if you think that I'm going to willingly give that up, then nobody knows me as well as you think you do.
I might take my
You
chances. I don't know.
As well as you think you do.
Those are ominous.
Awesome. Yes.
A lot of threats being thrown at here already.
Yeah, right? A lot of violence from Zeddy early on. Setting an interesting tone here.
A little bit.
We're
Take it back here.
I already feel like there's a threat against my life, so that's
There you go.
No,
Intimidation tactics, they do work. They do
work.
Like I like all these people, you know. I like all these people.
I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win championships. Okay.
Okay, CM Punk.
Oh man, awesome. All right, so quick for everybody watching, just for visual aid. Obviously, if you're listening on audio, I will read them off as well to you. But some new tweaks to the rules here because everything is pretty much fairly the same as it's always been. But Carlos and I made some new additional tweaks here. So without further ado,
Carlos,
here are the new box office beyond draft rules. So yes, I know. So Avatar: Fire and Ash is omitted from everyone from taking at any point in the draft. So obviously some drafts, kudos to you if you're going to allow that. We think that eliminates an automatic win off the board, which I think is fair to assume. So that is going to be omitted from everyone. We're doing a random draft order. So I got a nice little draft randomizer that I'm going to put on the screen here. We're going to have 5 rounds. Each team gets 5 films. As I said, we're doing a snake draft style here, so it's going to go 1 through 4, 4 through 1, and then so on. Trades and swaps are available post-draft, or if you want to make one as soon as we do the draft here. For any films substituted for tickets that have not gone on sale yet, any team, this one's new, can now have the domestic total of any of their films substituted for the international total of their films that they select. So that's going to be a key one. To market, to point out, and anybody can keep track of that at any time. So there are the rules, gentlemen. So
I'd assume it's not called domestic anymore. It's the North America Union box office.
Yeah.
yeah,
Why not?
that's right.
fair enough.
As Canada's going to become part of the U.S., right? That's what I read.
It's a matter of time. It's a matter of time, Tim.
Oh my!
Welcome them. Welcome.
Well, nice.
You know
All
what
right.
though? Like all of Gen X, we don't care. We grew up on GI Joe. We all think we're American anyway.
Right? What's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if we start using the American dollar, yeah, I'm golden.
Nah, I still feel like using the domestic and the international numbers. I'm good on that one. I don't trust North America anymore. Anyway, awesome. All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna get the draft order up. There you go. Everyone can see that, correct?
Oh yeah.
All right. So all these names, there's no specific order here. I literally just typed everybody's name is the way that I felt it here. It's probably alphabetical. I don't know. But everybody's name is on there, and all I'm going to literally do is just randomize it. It'll spin around a few times. There's no funny business. No one can accuse me of rigging any specific order, anything like that. Okay.
I'm still gonna accuse you of rigging. Don't worry.
Feels very black boxy.
Oh man. Well, kudos to you. All right, there you go. Well, would you look at
That
that?
feels like a bit.
This is horseshit, man. That's ridiculous, dude. Not a chance,
You
brothers.
saw it spinning around.
I
This is
saw
wild.
what I saw, but I don't believe.
You know what? You know what? As the
That's
new
fine.
host
It's
of the-
fine.
As the new host of the drafts, based on that protest, let's hit that.
No. Leave it. It's fine.
It's okay. And you guys, the most hated team here gets 4th, and the guys running it get 1st. It's not.
There we go.
Well, I mean, if you want to roll,
No, go back to the
with this
original.
order,
We're only
you know,
screwing with
I
you
mean,
guys.
hey,
Yeah, no, go back to the original.
The original. Hit back.
I don't think I can. I lost it.
It was
All right.
Beyond,
Well,
Beyond, DC Unlimited, and then World's Finest, and then Rebel Scum. That's the order we're doing.
All
Yo,
right, well,
Dad, real quick. Dad, check your Twitter DMs, or is your phone dead? You are not receiving my text messages.
Right.
No. Go to Twitter DM because my texts aren't going through to you. I don't know what's going on, but that
I'm
will
getting
be a
them
big
now. I got
problem.
them now. I got all your texts.
Okay, good.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, cool. Woo! That was stressful for a minute.
Beyond,
You know what?
you guys are first.
Amanda called it a seems fair enough. So let's go with that. This is the order that's on the screen. So.
So the first order, the way that it went. Okay.
No, the one that you just set up on the
Oh,
screen.
the one. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
So what is it? What is the order?
I got it right here. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Amanda, thank you for settling the debate.
Thank you, Amanda. Much appreciated.
Oh no, that's
All
kind.
Right. So
we don't need to do that.
All right, this is final because this is live, so we don't want to get clowned.
Yeah, and we had a bit of viewer participation. I like it. So there it is.
So
now I feel bad.
World's Finest, you have the first pick. DC Unlimited is number 2. Tim, Rebel Scum, you are 3, and then me and Carlos are gonna go 4. I'll put the draft order by number in case there's any confusion for round 1 through 5 here, so there's gonna be no confusion. So Caruso's, I'd say, what we get like a 2-minute time limit or something like that. I don't think anybody will need 2 minutes. But Caruso's, take it away.
Oh God.
Okay.
All right.
Dad, are we going with our first, the one I texted you first?
Yeah, dude. I think you got to go with. We had some discussions beforehand. I think it's a apropos choice. I would go ahead and announce it.
All right. With the first, thank you. Sorry about the reaction. Not Wolfman, even though I heard good things about Wolfman. Matt, I can't go next Tuesday. With the first pick in the 2025 draft, we are going with a movie that made $1 billion in 2016, and with that new international substitution rule, this might be incredibly massive. Like last year, we got to stick with our guns. We think of the children.
Wait, it's international. You can only pick the international or combined.
International.
You substitute, but don't worry. In this case, we're good. We don't have to make that choice now.
I don't think
we don't have to make that choice now.
Okay.
Think of the children. When in doubt, we're going with Zootopia 2.
Oh.
Okay.
Fantastic pick.
Yeah,
nice.
That was definitely top of my list.
All right.
Sorry to your daughters, Tim. I know that helped you.
They were pretty pumped about that.
I feel like that was a recommendation for them.
There was absolutely like top tier recommendation for them.
Zootopia 2 is off the board. DC Unlimited. You guys are up.
You know what would have been really cool, Z?
Oh.
If we were really professional here, we would have like a still of Zootopia. And you would,
we would have a
I'm sorry. You're going to have to settle for that. Okay? Just,
there you go.
Again,
that's quality, dude. Quality.
Nobody pays attention to me on V39.
I'm going to call another audible on the draft. Another audible on the draft, seeing as our good friends from DC Unlimited have the next pick.
Sure.
I know what it's going to be, so I almost insist that it be sung. Delivered in song.
I do happen to see a broomstick in someone's corner here.
I'm Anthony sing this one specifically.
I nominate Anthony.
Look,
yeah,
you might as well just say it because the image is waiting to be shown. So Anthony, whoever, I
can't wait till they don't pick it.
I was about to say, I think we're going to shock you here and say, we're going to say, look up, because we are standing by our namesake. It is a year of Superman. We're going Superman.
Wow, does that?
I love
it.
Okay.
That's all I could say.
I'm going to block you on Twitter, but congratulations.
That's why I want Anthony to do it.
Okay.
Nikko, Superman number 2.
I think I love my spiritual cousin, so I support whatever he does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's okay. You guys can all weep a bit when we see.
No, seriously. If anybody wants to comment on the prospects of that movie, though, by all means, please go. Because I mean, arguably, that's the second pick, and some might say, is that too high, or did anybody have that
too high?
Or
too high.
If he's right, though, we all win as fans at the end of the day. That would be the best case scenario. I would gladly lose this box office pool if Superman was one of the biggest movies of the year. I promise that.
I feel like Superman 2 is like the NFL draft, taking the quarterback that hasn't played as many games. It's proven, but the potential's there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the ceiling is very, very high. But I do believe there's some risk with Superman at number 2.
Judging from the reaction to the trailer, I trust Crypto to take us home.
I love that.
I love it.
Listen,
I think Mr.
I
C's
can't argue with
analysis
that.
was
I can't argue
professional
with
and
that.
perfect.
The dog is a key point. That's a brilliant move by Gunn and all those involved.
No, everybody loves a dog. I mean, let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Mr. Timbo, I think you're gonna get ready to shock all of us yet again. I'm sure. So take it away.
There's a movie I got at the top. Like, there's the obvious pick.
Knowing you, it can only be like 2 different things. So you might as well just it's a 50-50 with you.
But I'm trying to debate something here on the turnaround. Like, that's playing into this a little bit. The snake draft, the 4-4. That's a big impact on how I could go about this. Shit. Screw it. I'm gonna go with the heart, same way that the DC guys did. I'm gonna go Fantastic Four.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
Ooh. F4. Look at that. The return, or I guess that the introduction of the Fantastic Four to the MCU.
I'm a classic play by my heart, and I just like cheering on movies that I want to see do well.
I do think this movie is going to be very big.
I also agree. I think it'll be the biggest MCU movie. With you.
Right. Yeah. Sure. All right. Wow, look at that. So Fantastic Four and Superman are now off the board. Look at that.
I can't wait for Superman to teach the Thing what clobbering time really is.
Wow, look at that. Okay.
I love these quotes, though. I love them.
It's just hitting.
It's adding some juice. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, seemingly now, as the new kings, the return of the kings, might I add.
The return of the king.
The return of the king, and I'm going to be another king. So I'm plural on that one. We got 2 picks here. So Carlos, kick us off.
I know what you guys are picking.
I know. There's 2
this year's draft.
There's 2 obvious ones.
Nobody knows a damn thing. So anyway, Carlos, take it away, brother.
You know what? Do you want me to?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what? Anthony was so bold. And
do it.
You know what? I'm
Don't
gonna
do it, man. Don't do it.
Do it.
Go with the heart.
I'm T. Go ahead.
You know what? Yeah. Based on the new rules, we're gonna throw it all on the line. With the first pick, we're going with Michael.
Wow. I knew you were gonna pick this. I knew you were gonna pick this.
I love it.
Michael Jackson, baby.
Going to be the biggest music biopic we've seen.
Hands down.
Hands down. I love that there's 3 in a row pure heart picks there. Like, there's some logic behind it, but there's clearly some bias inside of that. I love that. You know what? I would have never taken that. If I had a choice, I would have never taken that from you. Ever.
I appreciate that.
Oh, I was fully prepared to take it. I'm sorry, Carlos. I was fully prepared to take that.
Yeah, we were. Oh my God, literally the threads of conversations that Carlos and I were having on this movie of like, because we had no idea like how high or not this would be on anybody's list. So we were fairly
I'll
confident
be honest,
it would
number
be taken
6 on my
early,
list.
but
Number 6.
Yeah. Like I think Michael has huge potential domestically. Like I know it does. Like despite all the arrows kind of slung his way, like he is beloved domestically. But like honestly, he's bigger in China now than he was when he was alive.
Yeah, the global appeal on this movie is like it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, and by all accounts, like there's a lot of heart that was put into the filmmaking and listening to actually his nephew and stuff talk about his other nephew in the movie and just everything that's gone on behind the scenes. Like I think it's going to be a pretty special movie, and you know what, my kids might get mad at me for not taking Wicked off the jump, but you know what,
I know
there's only one songbird that my heart flies with, and it's not
Wow, love is indeed our message, that's for sure.
That's funny. That's funny.
Great, Zeddy.
And not that I'm trying to give everybody a thriller of a show here, but
You're just full of puns.
I am. Team Beyond's second pick here is a franchise that if you put these animalistic creatures in front of you on the big screen. People are going to show up. This franchise prints money, no matter how good or mediocre the films might be. Our next pick is a movie. You put dinosaurs on the big screen, and they're gonna show up. So we're going with Jurassic World Rebirth.
You're killing me here, man. Come on. Mint.
Look at that.
Mint VHS.
Love that. That's great.
Nice. Scar Joe gonna take us home, baby. And Jonathan Bailey. Looking forward to you, buddy.
Okay.
All right. So that might be a little bit of an echo, but we are all good here. So that is the completion of the first round. So now round number 2.
No,
we won again. Yeah, so that was kind of like round 2. So now it is going to swing back over to Tim. Take it away, brother. What is your next pick?
All right. Well, I hate to do this to you, Anthony, but I'm going to take Wicked 2.
No explanation. Just cutting. Just one for the cutting. One for the
Well, I have my wife texting me who is watching, being like, take Wicked, take Wicked, take.
Well, she was killing you last year, so I would.
Well, I will say this for your wife. She's incredibly smart.
It's funny because last year when I was like, that is a. I didn't even know this was going to have a sequel either. They came home from the movie. It's like, oh, there's a sequel. And I was like, no clue. But I will say, though, my only hesitation, definitely taking it, it's the domestic total I'm looking for. Because international didn't do so great with Wicked 1. It was like half of the domestic total, which is a bit interesting. But I'm expecting, being the end of the franchise, of a big one here. We're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
And before we get going again, just because I don't have comments, Emmett, I love you for saying that Michael should have been a #1 overall pick.
Oh,
just right here.
We do got some comments that I'm gonna get pulled up here. Look at that. Yep. Look at that. All right. Awesome. All right. So Tim has went here. So it is gonna circle back over around. I believe it is. Who is it? The Caruso's. Take it away. No. DC Unlimited, guys. Take it away. DC Unlimited, guys. Sorry about that.
Well, okay, we didn't expect that, and now I have to do with Anthony for the rest of the year, Tim. So thanks.
Hey,
we were friends.
We can trade here. I don't know. I could be convinced to take Superman. Like,
well, we're not doing.
There is going to be an option for trades at the end. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I have to deal with him.
Everybody keep going.
We're discussing. Bear with us a second.
Well, thank you, Emmett. I've always appreciated you, brother. I hope the Toronto Maple Leafs make it past the first round this year. There you go.
Okay.
So our pick is it's one that we're pretty happy with. Everybody loves animals. They love animals that talk, and they love little bears in coats. So we're going with Paddington.
I like it.
Okay. Did not have a graphic for that. You took me off guard on that one. Look at that.
Okay. Ooh, is that going to be the one that was picked up? Moana 2 did not get picked up last year.
No, it did not. That's right.
Yeah.
That
Moana was a weird one though, right? Because it was a.
I don't think it had a release date when we
repurposed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It did not have
that was a
release date
difference
when we did
maker.
our
Like that one would have
live stream.
put either team over into the W column.
Nice. All right, Caruso's. No pressure.
Ricky,
So
go ahead, brother.
There is
listen,
a lot of pressure, but
listen, there were some curveballs early, which is fine because it put us in a position that we're gonna live or die by. Me and my dad are following a mantra for the first 3 rounds. Haven't had to change it too much though. So we have back-to-back picks now, right? Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Stay with the children.
You're gonna piss some kids off.
Even though I think this movie looks awful, I've worked with kids for the last decade of my life, and I just have to gamble. We have to gamble here.
I know where he's going.
The Minecraft movie. Let's go. Minecraft movie. You have to gamble with it because Either it's gonna bomb or it's gonna be the biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
Every kid knows this game, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Every kid knows this game.
Yeah.
It's either
Your
gonna bomb.
Yeah.
We're either gonna look like geniuses or we're gonna look like idiots.
People still play
You
the
have
game,
to.
so that's why.
Lobo's in it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lobo?
Yes. He's gonna be doing what he's doing in the Supergirl movie that he's already done before.
Only in Minecraft.
But
right?
okay.
Oh, yeah.
But he really wanted the role, so it's okay.
He's gonna have some Zah.
Anyway.
Your assessment of that movie is so correct. It looks awful.
It looks
but will
awful.
likely do gangbusters.
Probably gonna make bank. So the next one is I know when we move to live action, things don't always hit, but the 3 movies did. We're going How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yes.
So we're living and dying by the kids. We're living and dying by the kids this year. We're here in a healthy way for the children, not in a creepy way. We're here in a healthy way for the children. So we're going with all family picks, and let's hope the families don't let us down. That's 3 trips to the theater families have to make this year. I hope they do it.
I would agree.
I hope they do it.
Here's the thing, though.
Animated
With
movies
this,
were pretty well regarded, though. Wow.
animated and third round picks are often the game changers. In this, they've traditionally been like the first couple. You could always they kind of scrub or wash out at 500 to 600 million, but it's this one, the ones that do over 300 million in this slot. Those are the difference makers. Like they are the ones that win you this, and so you got to gamble, man. You got to gamble.
Awesome. Wow, look at that. That threw a wrench. I'm not gonna lie.
There's some interesting picks off the board right now.
There's still
some
a lot
interesting left on.
Still a lot of really good ones left though. It's not over just yet by any stretch of the means. So I'm gonna give my partner one, the one in this one. So I believe we have our pick.
Hold on.
We got to go back down the other way.
You gotta go back down. It's DC Unlimited.
I'm just kidding.
That's right.
DC guys, take it away.
It's coming down to the wire here. Hold on. I'm sorry.
No. Now it gets creative.
The Karate Kid.
Now it's called the saucer right now.
Yeah.
I will say this though: since this is a family stream, a wise man once said, "Never mind them kids."
Yeah.
PG-13. That's fine. That's fine.
I agree.
Nothing they haven't heard or seen before. Go ahead.
Okay. We are gonna go with horror. Horror sells.
I love it.
There it is.
I love it. You're smart.
2.0. Oh wait, did I really say what your pick is?
That's 28 years later.
28 days later.
This one has got the biggest buzz. When you Google this movie, like it's often ranked at the top. Ian and I were talking about this. Yeah. It's wild how much buzz this movie has.
It does.
In the online space.
Never mind them kids. They got Paddington.
We don't care about the kids anymore. We got one for the kids. It's all that matters.
All right. All right. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Gotta play the turnaround here again. This is probably the hardest part about being in third here is playing the turnaround, like and anticipating what could be left. But I got them upstairs asking me for a specific movie, but I'm gonna go with this one, maybe them in the next one. We'll see what the turnaround looks like. But I'm gonna go with that classic May spot. I'm going Thunderbolts, May 2nd, wide open run.
Wow. Okay.
I think it's got a lot of potential. It is the most, well, maybe except for the other one, but it's gonna feel very MCU-esque. But I'm hoping that in that May slot it can do something.
That's what's Jared Leto's Joker, right?
What's that? This ain't no Joker. I guarantee that.
Man.
If this makes $58 million, I'll give you Wicked.
Wow, that is a massive dig. That is a massive dig to 2 people on this stream here. Excuse me. Which also, excuse me. Hold on, real quick. But before Carlos and I annihilate everybody, what are our next 2 here? Mr. Tim has left a very specific MCU movie off the board, which has deeply shocked me, and I think I know exactly why.
I'm not an idiot.
That is, but kudos to you, my friend, because that was Bates if I've ever seen it. But anyway.
Yeah, I fully get that.
Yeah.
That is like my Ghostbusters pick of last year.
You know what though? I give almost more respect to the DC Unlimited guys for taking the
respect it.
Paddington movie that
that was that's huge. Yep.
Sony directly put on the Captain America date because they were that much disrespect towards Captain America.
That is very much.
It's hilarious. I'm looking at the exact same
That
day.
could very much eat Sam Wilson's ham sandwich on that one. Absolutely not.
What do you mean? Like perpetual reshoots and like really bad screenings is not very well for this movie.
500 million.
$600 million budget, whatever it was. Yeah.
You laugh now when it makes a billy.
Yes.
So it's us again?
It is us again, Carlos.
Okay, and Great Value Suicide Squad is off the board.
It is.
So
Dollar Store Suicide Squad. Yes.
You know what? I'll let Zeddy take the flip pick. So with the next pick for our team, you know what? It's well documented how much I loathe these movies. Absolutely loathe these movies. The most artistically bankrupt films put to theater. And with the exception of the last one they do, however, typically make money. So with the next pick, we are going to also go with the kids. Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, you just made some upset gals upstairs.
Yes. No, this is also one that Carlos and I have been throwing around. I mean, people love Stitch, man. These movies were that animated movie was massively popular. Like when Nico and I were growing up. I mean, like that Disney park is still going. I'd see that they're doing something very interesting with that marketing. So like they're really trying to go for the kids, as Nico's been saying here. And that Memorial Day weekend, that could be something, man. That can do something.
I love the original. Like in fact, Elvis was one of the movies that took me to my third championship. So I love that original. I don't know that it has any of the Elvis music in this one. I've heard that it has no music whatsoever, which is an interesting choice for Disney. But Zeddy, take us home, man.
Yeah. And I also think what's interesting is like I know those Disney remakes are like so hit or miss, and somebody had pointed out that like whenever it's the first of something, that's usually when people flock out to it. Like when it's not like trying to be a cash grab sequel or trying to like be an origin story, like a prequel of some sort. That's usually when people try to flock to it. Because it's the first Lilo and Stitch movie. It's not like the remake of something else. So that'll be something interesting, especially coming off on a holiday like that. I'm very going to be curious on that. But, it does have some competition on the same weekend. Now, it brings me so much joy because I have the biggest smile on my face, and Carlos knows exactly where I'm going with this. This man has meant so much to my childhood. I think he's the greatest action star who's ever graced our presence on the big screen. He was stolen from me a draft or two ago. He's no longer going to be the case again. The GOAT is bringing Carlos and I home.
Steven Seagal, I love it. Steven Seagal, I love
it. This is all going to be your final reckoning. Team Beyond selects Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning. It's the last one of the franchise. They're marketing it as such. There's going to be no global phenomenon that I know of as of right now. So no Barbie or Oppenheimer can eat its lunch and dinner anymore. And I do think that Tom Cruise is due for a rebound. I think that people are going to want to turn out for this franchise because it does have a nice, pretty chunk of time in duration of the next big film. So we got Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning is our next two. So there you go. Swinging back over around, gentlemen. Let's do it.
Now, wait, time out. We don't get – how does this go now? We're just one pick, right?
Yeah, it's still the same kind of draft.
It's still going to go back around.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 3. Yeah.
So, Zeddy, you guys only picked 3 movies?
No, we have one more left. So now it is it's the fourth round.
Dad, we get to go back to back again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is it us?
Yeah,
That's me.
No,
me.
It's Tim, right?
It's Tim, and then it goes.
Tim.
Yeah.
This
Then it
guy.
goes back around.
Okay. This is an interesting part of the draft here. I think just based off of what I've picked, I need to embrace the children a bit more on the side of this. So I'm going to go with the Pixar film, Elio. Is that how you say it? Elio?
Yeah, Elio.
Yes.
Elio? Yeah, I gotta slide. I need an animated in there to pad out my thing. And like it's funny because Pixar's a weird one because their typical franchise ones do extremely well, but new iterations have not done well for a long time. Like new brands, so it's kind of a weird one. Like Pixar in some cases is a no-brainer. This one, don't know, but I need an animated in there to pad it out.
Yeah.
Good pick. Good pick.
All right. That is a nice one. There you go. All right. I just have to. I'm sorry. Emmett, my guy.
I think Emmett's got a bit of bias in here.
Oh man, I'm gonna. God, I'll send you all the maple syrup or cupcakes you want, my man. My lord, jeez, I love you, brother.
What do you mean bias? Chris is his co-host.
Exactly.
I don't know. Just bias in the
nothing
comments.
here.
Like there's a lot of love being thrown at Team Beyond here.
Well,
I just want to point out to everyone listening out there in the future and listening now, Team Beyond was the Cinderella story of last year's draft as well. And we all know how that turned out.
About to mute this microphone right now. Anyway, I would never do that to
I do
Timbo.
love chirping. I feel like I had to be extra loud because I'm sitting here solo tonight.
That's true. That is true. And I think you're handling it very well, might I say. Kudos
You
to
have a big mouth.
You do. All right. I believe it's DC guys, right? DC Limited. All right, take it away, gentlemen.
Yeah,
We're going. Go on, Phil.
Yeah, we're going to think about the kids, but this isn't really necessarily for the kids, but it will be family orientated. We're going to go with Freakier Friday. And again, a little bit of an out of the box pick, but of course you've got, my girl, Jamie Lee Curtis, but one has to really think, Lindsay Lohan, she has made a remarkable comeback and she's carved out, quite a little niche for herself. I think you look at Netflix, sort of all the Christmas movies and whatnot. There is still a lot of love for the original film. It came out, 20 years ago? People always go back to it. I think this could be a sleeper.
And never underestimate the power of a legacy sequel.
Bingo.
Yeah.
No, that's a great pick.
Yeah, it is a great one. Yeah, that can do something, man. That's a lot of nostalgia behind that one for sure. Absolutely.
Well, and you have a whole generation of people that grew up with those movies.
All those millennial gals.
Yeah. Now have kids of their own. So Tim will be paying for
I
his
absolutely
wife and
will
kids to go see that movie.
There's a lot of movies that I didn't pick that I will be paying for. So specifically Lilo and Stitch. That's I've already got a disappointing text from upstairs. So.
Like I said, trades and swaps will be available at the end of this draft, so just keep that in mind. But Caruso,
Nick,
can't get away.
Dad,
you might have left one on the table.
You call the first one, Dad.
On the table,
you call the first one. This
they might have left it on the table.
I am
disrespectful.
I am shocked. I respect you all.
Telling you. First one, right? First one of the year, too.
It won't be
not that big.
The bomb you guys think it's gonna be. No. There's no way.
No way, man.
None of the public knows about the reshoots of test. This is still marquee character. And what we've seen is the marquee characters sell. I cannot believe Captain America Brave New World fell to us. I cannot believe this fell to us. We'll be the first to tell you. I'll get you all on a stream and say you all were right. There's no way this bombs the way you think it's going to bomb.
No way.
There's no way.
150 to 200. There's
That's
no way.
Easy.
The general public doesn't care about Anthony Mackie.
It doesn't. No, they
but
do.
They care about Captain America. They see the Red Hulk. I'm telling you. Yeah. You made a comment about that cameo fest earlier, but that's what people want. 1.4. Yeah. I'm just saying, you got to look at the public. Yeah. You got to look at the public.
That's a
you guys have open platform to make fun of me and my dad. We will go on a stream and you could say whatever you want to us. If it is
that in right now,
please, I will let you, because I'll say I'm wrong.
Million. It's at least over 100 million.
Because then we'll admit we're wrong. This is the test. I think the real test is the movie in July. But everyone says Marvel's dead and they're panicking, which is ironic coming from me.
Nobody says Marvel's dead.
I'm a bigger DC fan. This is a DC leading podcast. Daredevil's going to be massive. This movie's going to be okay. The other stuff they got coming out is going to kind of suck. Agatha still found a way to chart. Thunderbolts will be okay. I think F4 people are going to find out it's going to kick off 3 future billion-dollar films. I'm just saying. But I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Last pick, Dad, do you want to do the gamble or what I think is sure?
I want you to do what's sure.
What's sure?
Yeah.
All right. I'm shocked that nobody picked up The Conjuring, the last Conjuring movie too. They do okay. The Conjuring movies do pretty well domestically. The third one came out, I think, right after COVID, and I think the streaming numbers were decent. So I'm hoping the last one has a bit of a bounce back. So
it's
that's
the last
us.
one, just like the last one we're kind of counting on, maybe, right?
Yeah, hopefully this injects. I'm sorry, Anthony. So I hope this gets a little bit of.
Hopefully,
hope this is a shot in the arm.
Hopefully, crypto.
Yes, no crypto.
Crypto and Paddington now.
Wow. So you did The Conjuring last rights. That was
sir.
Okay.
That's it. We're done. Our picks are in. We're feeling good. We're done right now. We're done.
I mean, that was interesting because we were all kind of afraid to take horror last year, and outside of maybe one,
big horror do between 100 and 200 million, which are the ones that, like, especially at the end, that's difference makers. You get the 50 million, 60 million dollar films at the end, that really hurts you. The 100 to 200, it really pads out. Like, cause like I'd say we've been doing this for what now, since like 2016 or something. And it usually comes to within couple $100 million is like the end. Like even this year, 300 was a bigger one, but we've seen them like absolutely like where we couldn't call it until we got the results from 2020 the next year. So it's like that makes a difference. And so those horror ones, like the what's the silent one where they can't talk, Quiet or whatever it is.
Oh, Quiet Place.
Yeah. Quiet Place. Yeah, those made huge differences in the past.
Yeah. And something like Long Legs, man, that was something. So yeah, no, I think the Cruisers are onto something with that one. No, I really do. Especially if it goes the way of like the first one, then yeah, for sure. Again, they're playing them with the last, right? The last. That's always the key. So nice, solid sleeper one, I think, on that one, Crusoe. I'll give you guys that one for sure.
Thank you, sir.
In cap, obviously, we'll talk on mainstream V39. We don't have to go through that whole spiel. But hey, Box Office Beyond is not biased to any brands, baby. We just love our box office. We just love the fine prints and money.
I think it's a little biased.
All about the numbers.
It's all about the numbers, baby. Especially the winning ones. Anyway. Awesome. All right. I believe it is us, right? We got the yeah. All right.
Huh?
Wait.
No.
DC.
You're last.
DC. What?
DC guys. Yeah,
we're snaking again, brother. I got snaking again.
I got my head in the gutter tonight. Sorry, guys.
He's just so enthusiastic.
I'm just so excited. I got Tom Cruise back, baby.
There it is. There we go.
Last one. Let's go, guys. Come on.
It may be all about the box office, but for the public, it's all about horror. So we are also going with a horror movie, and since we could not take Ed and Lorraine Warren, we are going with a prequel to a sleeper hit from a few years ago. We are going with The Black Phone 2.
Whoa, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. It's a really good pick.
We had it.
It's a very good pick. That was going to be down there. That's a good pick, sir.
Yeah.
Cap. We had it if Cap didn't come down, right?
Yeah, no, it was going to be a back-to-back horror show with those two fully trans. Those were my next back-to-back. So I like where my cuz is thinking.
I like it.
All right,
Timmy.
All right, Timbo, take it away.
What do you got, Timmy?
Man, there's
kids. More kids or no?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
There's some horror left too, Tim. There's some horror left.
A lot of horror.
I don't even watch them. I'm too scared. I'm like a little child when it comes to.
There's some
There's
good
no
horror
problem
left.
watching
You got the
dinosaurs eat humans, but you're scared of
Man,
horror.
I'm a geologist. That's what I.
Come on, man.
Not really what I do, but I'm basically Alan Grant.
Sure.
So it's fine.
Sure. Come on, brother.
Shit. Okay, there's two movies I'm debating here between, and there's one I like just have this real opposition to picking, but my oldest upstairs, she is begging me to pick this, so I'm going to say Snow White.
You know, I don't think that's awful.
I can hear her yelling upstairs.
Even on its worst day, I think it is like for where you're picking it could be a really nice.
Could be big. Could be.
Could be.
I think people are underestimating that movie.
Nick, I got to be honest with you. You know, we might have dropped the ball on that one.
You told me you didn't want it on the phone. You told me you didn't want it on the phone.
I feel like
I said that's the one I'll give you. I said that's the one I'll give you. That's the one I'll give you. I just don't know. But
I don't. It's. I don't know. It's got. I just don't.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick for the last.
It's 5. It's last pick though.
That's a good pick for the last pick. We kind of did forget about it, Nick. We really did. We had it there. If it was going to be a last pick, a good pick.
Oh, now you want Snow White, guys? You should have heard him on the phone. Now he wants Snow White.
I didn't want it early.
Hindsight is 2020. You
I didn't want it early.
Hindsight is 2020.
You know,
if Superman's $1 billion movie, he'll be like, well, "You didn't fucking take Superman. You had the chance. You had the chance."
Listen, I'm a DC
With that
guy,
first pick, you should have used it on that stupid Zootopia. He's gonna be calling me. He's gonna be calling me in 8 months, saying that I dropped the ball with Zootopia. It'll be my fault, everybody.
I'm just letting this.
You could blame me like I blamed you for Ryan Gosling last year and
yeah,
Gladiator. And Gladiator too. You had
Gladiator did okay. I think the movie wasn't good, but it did okay.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Check out Nikko's TikTok for what he really thinks.
But certainly not least.
So am I on a box office pool or am I on a Disney investor stream where they're all
That's funny. I know.
100%. It's not
That's
that
funny.
bad.
That's
it's not
funny.
gonna be that bad. People like us still.
We are the bar, baby.
We gotta hold on to it. We have to hold on to that still for one more
But are you
year.
also going to take another Disney movie here?
Those loyalty checks, I see one right on Nikko's shelf right there. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the thing. If someone wants to give me a shield check, I'll take it every day of the week. 100%.
Oh yeah. At this point in my life, give me the checks.
Come on.
Give me the checks.
The only people cashing checks are going to be us, baby.
With the last pick of the draft, Zedward and I, we might have a sneaky pick here because this film actually did well north of $100 million, 140, despite having a simultaneous streaming release and coming out on Halloween. So Zedward, take us home.
That's right. Team Beyond's 5th and final pick is Five Nights at Freddy's.
All right. Okay.
We think that without Universal throwing this on Peacock, we think that with a nice prime theatrical release, we think that this can do something.
When does that come out?
December 5th. That's the other thing too.
Ooh, that's a good time slot.
So that'll be a nice end of the year.
That was early in the year. I would have made a scoffing.
Well, if it was in
noise,
October,
but
then that'd have been like, yeah. And horror in December, that could be sneaky.
Horror in December does well,
Horror
and
in
then
December.
it'll basically be one of the choices for families or kind of slightly older kids right to the end. So,
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. There it is.
Man, it's pretty good, man.
Pretty good. So just on my list, my top 20 list. So the ones that weren't taken off my list were Tron 3. These were like low end. Tron 3, Karate Kid, and Smurfs movies are the ones that had some momentum behind them.
Yeah, we considered Tron. Actually, Zeddy and I were texting back and forth with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, just I love Tron Legacy, but
the ride's awesome. And
I would say there is a Disney theme park
Jared
ride.
Leto.
So,
That was that was enough.
Who was box office poison, might I add? So yeah, that's far away.
Let's look here. Let's look here.
This is the final list, everybody. So everyone take a quick glance, and then we're gonna give everybody the option for free agency.
I'd say boldest pick of this entire draft is Minecraft, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Really?
We had a top 5.
That high? You had a top 5?
We did have it pretty high, actually. To be fair, it was very high on ours. Yeah.
Honestly, like it
was number 20 on my list.
Wow. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. No, it came out when my oldest was a kid, and her friends they'll mess around with it to this day. It's big.
It's
that big.
It's that big.
See, it's like complete miss on me. I never played it, and my kids aren't they never. It's not really a thing. Well, at least for them too.
Well, I was more of a Tetris guy, but that's just me. So I was never really into Minecraft either. But it is pretty big. Yeah.
What's Black Phone 2? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, the first Black Phone was based on a Stephen King short story. It was with is it Ethan Hawke or
yeah. Very good movie.
It's really Scott Derrickson. I think the biggest gamble, and I say this out of legitimate admiration, is Superman going that early by DC Unlimited. As much as I want that to happen, as much as I think would be amazing if it did, as much as I hope it does, I just think there's unfortunately, right? There's no actual tangible evidence besides really high trailer numbers, but the way trailer numbers are recorded now, it's if you scroll past every Twitter, if you scroll past Warner Brothers and Superman and Gunn and Corn sweats all their tweets of it, that's 4 views. Is
that what it does now? Is that what the algorithm, or is that
they counted the Super Bowl for Deadpool Wolverine. Superman is now an ad on YouTube, which I love that they're spending money on it, but they're counting it in views of the NFL Christmas games. I'm just saying there's no tangible evidence besides trailer numbers that any DC movie is going to be a slam dunk outside of a Batman movie, in my humble opinion.
People used to do that with their podcasts, because Twitter used to autoplay podcasts when you scrolled by them.
So I'm not saying the numbers aren't the Superman trailer was utterly impressive. Do not get me wrong. I'm just saying the Flash had big trailer numbers too, and I think we saw what happened.
I think Gunn has cachet. I think they're smart to advertise in a DC trailer that he is the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy.
It's smart,
the Suicide Squad.
So we're gonna see.
I think Crypto's going to bring us home. I think there's a reason they featured Crypto so heavily in the trailer as well.
They're going for it, which I love. I was critical of the trailer just dropping online and then the slow release of it. I'm seeing it on TV everywhere. They are spending money, which is great. Which is really great to see.
To kind of take it out of that whole realm of the hype, the Today Show did New Year's kind of most anticipated thing for all media things. But as far as movies go, there was no comic book movies in the top 5 for things that were highly anticipated. There was certainly the Marvel movies are all the kind of 10, 7, and 6, I think. But number 1 was Superman, and that was the Today Show, who has that's a general audience. That is the very definition of a general audience.
I think audiences crave the return of the king, and Superman's the OG. If Gunn gives us a good movie, I think audiences will show up.
I think that's based off engagement numbers, though, and it's the only one with a trailer out. In those top few films.
It is right now, yeah.
No, because it was that one 28 years later was actually in there too.
No, in those top 4 films though, Zootopia, Fantastic Four, and Michael, none of them have trailers out, right?
No.
If you just take our top 4, or Wicked 2, Jurassic World.
Nope.
Yeah,
I'd say it's probably based.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea, but I'm guessing it's based off of like they're basing that off like an algorithm engagement level.
Exactly.
Yeah. My concern for Superman 2 is, does it not come out the week after Jurassic World?
I think Jurassic World comes out
is 4th of July weekend, and then
Jurassic World is 4th of July.
But okay, so there's no doubt it's going to be #1 the week it comes out. Then I know it's got a week between that and F4, right?
As of now, it has a week.
Okay.
As of now.
Okay, so I still think that the Jurassic World will still hurt it a little bit, and I do think that F4 coming out the third
choosing the second weekend.
Yeah, I think that's gonna impact it a little bit. I do think it's gonna do very well. But
that's my concern too. Is that
they're 2 weeks? They're 2 weeks.
movies.
They're 2 weeks apart. The Fantastic Four and Superman.
Yeah, so that gives Superman some legs. I mean, if he could open to about 75, 80 million and maybe do, but then the drop off for these movies, these comic book movies, are a lot
usually.
Yeah, I mean, it's different than Barbie and Oppenheimer and all that. It's just they're all pretty.
July is also going to go in August, so just so everybody.
What'd you say, Zed?
Almost all of July is going to roll into August too. So not that
there's no big releases.
It's going to be a matter of what's really the best received movie at this point.
Is like my concern with July is those 3 movies cannibalizing each other because it's a lot of the same audience for F4, Superman, and Jurassic World.
Yeah, there's very, very, very strong rumblings that Fantastic Four is moving to November anyways.
I'm with Javi.
So, yeah, and my man Javi just came in just like Superman to reinforce that point. But
flying in.
I mean because I know we're all anticipating Blade, but I mean
that's funny. That's funny.
It'll take that Blade date, which is a prime date, so it'll still make its money. And,
although that should scare the month of November then, if that's the case, because then you're gonna have Wicked for Good,
the end,
and potentially Fantastic Four in November, and that should scare somebody.
But these movies have 3 weeks tops. Like even like good performers are.
It didn't scare Wicked and Moana though.
Yeah, but
it didn't scare any of those movies. Superman. I don't think it matters when a movie like Fantastic Four comes out. I think if it doesn't come out in July, it is better for Superman.
Of course.
I think it is way better for Superman. But
of course it is.
I think F4 is going to make what it makes whenever it comes out.
I'll say this. If Feige's doing him a favor, he's doing Gunn a favor if he moves Fantastic Four.
That's why I don't think he will. Feige deep down, he's a little ruthless deep down.
But if it does happen,
I don't think he wants to move Feige.
I don't think he does
Apparently, it finished above schedule. The VFX stuff went really well. I don't know. I don't know.
You got
Super Bowl trailer.
You got there's
you got
second
RDJ.
week.
They say RDJ's in it.
So that's I was just gonna say second weekend on that after the rumors that he's in some post-credit cameo or he is some involved. It won't hurt the drop as much. Still do a 40-50% drop, but I think they'll play into that. I wouldn't even be surprised if they kind of let it on. It's not just a complete secret.
If people want to see him, because it was pretty universal that
it was a jump the shark gambit, bring him back.
I don't know about that.
See, I know. I gotta challenge all you guys. I don't think that was universally hated. It was the most liked Instagram photo.
That's Twitter that don't.
That's what I'm saying.
PC guys that don't want to see him. That's just how I feel. I'm being honest with you.
We'll see. We'll see.
All I know is that I guessed it on a Marvel podcast for Deadpool. And all anybody talked about was how crappy a move that was to bring RDJ back.
Except for one person. Except for one person who came
I know
on.
you were the only guy.
Except for the one person who came on.
But you guys aren't the general audience though, and I think the general audience is going to eat that up. We are not,
also 95 million of that budget is going to him.
To me, I still say that it's the jealousy factor because it's like, okay, now we're going to start our universe. We've got James Gunn. Everything looks good. And they're like, these son of a bitches. Look what they did, man. They brought RDJ back, man. It's like you root for a sports team or something and you think you're going to overtake them and then the other player comes back. I don't think we qualify. And us doing podcasts, Twitter. The Twitter stuff is so small. It's not we've been through this 100 times where you think something's on Twitter and you think, oh, it's going to be big or it's going to be a disaster. I mean, look at the Flash with Keaton coming back and all that stuff. And
I was wrong on the Flash. You know, I was so wrong on the Flash.
I think Superman is going to be I think it's going to be a big success. I just don't know that it's going to be.
So, but take it a step further.
The Marvel stuff's going to be huge, Carlos. When you get the Secret Wars and Doomsday, that stuff's going to. You've got everybody in those movies.
Like that stuff will be huge. Like when they bring in Tom Holland and give him black costume. But you got to look at what the perception is going to be for Robert Downey Jr. coming back. You literally just had a Deadpool and Wolverine movie that came out that had a non-traditional audience, obviously supported by virtue of its box office. That whole movie, Deadpool spent crapping on how stupid the multiverse is, how it's garbage, and how it's being thrown out. So then your next big move after this movie that you had the biggest Marvel audience that you've had since Endgame.
We're going to give you a story that will be for the ages. And you're going to hope that DC can scratch the surface of what they're going to do. I'm with you, my brother.
I'm with Brother Carlos here.
Guy. You are going to be blown away by what they come up with.
What are the comments?
I have no doubt in my mind.
Let's get the comment. Who agrees or disagrees in the comments? Fire away. I want discourse here.
Superman needs a big. Of course it does. Yeah.
Phil or Chris, what do you guys think? You guys have been.
Yeah, Chris, you're quiet.
I don't like quiet.
Yeah, too quiet. You two
exactly.
there.
Yeah,
it's scary. Quiet. Taking it in, I think Superman could really go either way, but I've got the faith in it. I think you got James Gunn behind it. His name is in the trailer. That's good. I think Superman is going to sell. I think on the Downey thing, I think Mr. C is absolutely right. We only see what's on Twitter. Like all the people that don't go on Twitter that have talked to me about it are so hyped to see Downey back.
It's a big deal.
He's doing.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I know Anthony.
Whether you like it or not.
I know Anthony hates this, but Deadpool and Wolverine made more money than Wicked, a lot more.
A lot more.
What the people wanted.
And despite them crapping on it, I don't think it matters. Those people don't.
It's so funny though.
I thought Deadpool Wolverine was not. To me, it wasn't even a good movie. It was okay.
Thank you, Mr. C.
It wasn't a good movie. It was okay,
and that's okay because it like a lot of a lot of movies that aren't good make money. I think both Avatar movies are bad, and they're the highest grossing movies ever. Right? Thank you.
That's why it's my best one of over 20 years.
Zeddy. My big. Well, I want to hear from Phil first.
No, I first of all, I think Superman will be a success, but I do agree about the Robert Downey thing. As much as I think it could be a cheap ploy. Again, take us all out of the bubble. We have to pop that bubble because the people love Robert Downey Jr. Let's just accept that. They love him. He is an Oscar winner now, and that is going to have such cachet. I mean, you thought Marvel was big now. I mean, they're going to go nuts. When he takes the mask off, oh my God, you can just see the TikToks and the, screenshots. I mean,
because now people all they do is film now, so
the Alamo Draft House will have it on their page. I mean,
there's no denying it has cachet, Phil, because there's no denying Downey has cachet now because he's getting half of the movie's budget for his little compound of trailers. Oh my God!
People honestly, with all that kind of stuff, though, people want to be a part of and like on the inside of it all. And with Downey coming back, they're going to feel like they're part of the story again. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people disconnected at the end of Endgame because we went to different stuff with and they're gonna Evans is coming back, whether it's like Hydra Cap or Nomad or something like that.
It's people are into it.
They do this. They've done this so many times in the comic books where they tried to change the characters and then they just go, we're just gonna go back to
but see, I'm on the opposite end of that. Like I'm with you that people want to be part of something and people want to be excited about something, but I think the reaction to that Superman trailer and how people are jumping 2 feet in is a pushback because Marvel is kind of old and tired. Like they literally had a movie this year talking about that very thing.
I'm with you, Carlos. Can I just say one thing about Dr. Doom as well, Carlos?
I'm enjoying the hell out of this, by the way. Keep going.
I think Doctor Doom is one of the most iconic comic book characters of all time. I think people want to see Doctor Doom, not evil Iron Man variant Doctor Doom. I think that's
well, that was the discussion on the comics binge, was that it's like, yeah, we've been waiting for Doctor Doom, but not this version of it, not the kind of cheap ploy. And it's like, really your move after your multiverse is crashed and burned is to do another multiverse movie? Like, the only one that you had that was successful was the one with 3 Spider-Mans in it.
It feels like Kane crashed and burned, so they're like, "Oh my god, what can we do to get people interested again?"
It's absolutely a reaction to that.
Sure,
100%.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what happened. But it's brilliant.
It was
brilliant.
And I think like you're going back to the well. Anthony and Joe Russo, RDJ, Evans, like big double Avengers film.
You got listen, guys. You got Spider-Man in it. I'm just telling you.
Oh, like, so wait, hold on. So. 2 comments that I kind of want to throw in here.
What it's got to do.
So hold on. I know. I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm addressing this comment. So we're really talking about F4 here.
Yeah,
I know the Avengers, Spider-Man, like that's all gonna be big. That's whether anyone like that's once again 3 years from now, you guys could eviscerate me on camera if I'm wrong about any of this. But F4 is going to be marketed as the kickoff. For everything with the tease of Doom, the tease of the different universe. It's also going to look very interesting with what Matt Shackman is doing.
It's going to look awesome.
Now, if we're going to play the anecdotal game, I'm going to play it too. The Superman trailer was big, but there's a lot of people outside of the fan base that everyone's going to say. There are a lot of people, if you really look, who didn't think the Superman trailer looked that good. There is just enough loud voices about the Superman trailer. That's why I'm curious what happens with the F4 trailer, because I know the numbers are there. I know it's on the Today Show. I know all that. There's a lot of people who made fun of that Superman trailer. And when you have a family or people, casual GA audiences, and they have to look at 3 movies in the month of July if they can only go to 1 or only go to 2, I promise you Superman is 3rd for most people. With Jurassic and F4 there. There's too much evidence. There's too... They just... I will be proven wrong in July.
To make that assessment.
This general audience just doesn't F with Superman the way people think it does, and I would love to be proven wrong in July because they haven't wanted to make a movie for 11 years about him again. There has to be some analytic
has cracked the Superman. I think that's it. I think that's frankly it, and that's why you bring in Gunn, who's a giant comic nerd, who is clearly embracing the Superman we all know and love from the comics.
You say the Superman
of Christopher Reeve.
You say the Superman that we all know and love, though, but like look at Superman. I wouldn't even say is in the top 5 most popular comic book characters to this general audience right now, and there's so much evidence I could put in front of you. I think Superman is loved by the older generation. So we're going to need to see if Gunn cracked the code to make young people think Superman is cool. There's a lot of young people who don't think Superman is that cool. I'm a big comic book nerd. I don't think Superman's that cool. I'm just going to say that. No disrespect. But I'm just saying,
Can I just push back?
Yes, yeah, of course.
My pushback would be it takes a director and writer with vision.
That's
true. No one in the general audience gave a crap about any of these Avengers before Jon Favreau kicked off Iron Man.
Yes, you are correct.
So James Gunn
1,000,000% correct.
Can do that with Superman if he can really give Superman, give audiences a Superman they can relate to, then that changes the ball game. And that's when we picked it, that's what we're counting on.
Now, I need Superman to be big because I think if Superman is massive, the floodgates for the DCU explode open in terms of what characters they're going to bring in, what characters they're going to speed up. I promise you, if Superman's huge, you're going to see something move with the guy with the pointy ears really fast. I don't know but you're going to see that happen real fast because
there's no saying he doesn't show up in the post-credit scene as Pattinson.
Well,
saying that
see,
right now.
so
Maybe
now
we'll
we're
still
playing
do
a
it.
game, though. See, but here we go. Now we're
Very
playing a
good
game
game.
on you tease the audience with something else, much like the Marvel thing's going to try to do. And now we have a really fun game of like what is going to be the shiniest object to run to the theater for. I'll close and say I hope I'm wrong. I've been burned by DC too many times. And as a DC fan, it hurts me. And I wish I had the same optimism as some of you guys, but I'm going to quote Tom Wamsgans from Succession. I'm not going to spoil it for you all if you haven't seen the show, but I'm Tom talking to Kendall Roy. And I said, well, I've seen this get effed many times. I haven't really seen the other one get effed too many times. If Deadpool and Wolverine bombed, we would be having a different conversation. That movie made me think, if you look at all the multiversal movies, comic book multiversal movies, only one has done poorly. You want to know which one that was?
Flash.
The Flash.
Ant-Man didn't do great.
It's still made.
Still made five.
It
still made five. That's why I think Cap could still make 4 or 5. Yeah.
And
But
it was an ass movie. That
wasn't really multiversal though. That was like Quantumania.
That was supposed to kickstart the whole multiversal thing with Kang.
That was
and maybe Doom's a better idea than Kane. I love P-Thog. I love Paul Herman, but I don't think Kang was blowing the doors off. I think RDJ's Doom is infinitely more exciting to the public than 8 versions of Jonathan Majors being angry the whole time. You know what I mean? His little lip thing, his little thing.
Impression.
Back to the timeline.
Not only that, he was,
you know,
not only that, he gets beat in that movie where it was.
He gets beat by ants,
he gets beat by the Ant-Man's daughter, basically, or whatever. I mean, it's not a good. It's
the nail in the coffin for all that was when Ant-Man, the Avengers threat,
right?
It's like, and he was supposed to be like the Kang,
right?
That was just brutal.
I think we all need to see this F4 trailer because the other thing the F4 has, it's got a little star power in it. You know,
it does.
It's got Pedro.
That's a lot.
You know, the two other guys. I don't know that they're that big, but they've been in big shows. Stranger Things, The Bear. Vanessa Kirby. You know, she looks like Sue Storm. I don't know how big she's in, but she was in The Crown. She's done. So you have like
Hobbs and Shaw, Mission Impossible films.
So DC, you know, Gunn deserves a lot of credit for Superman because I've been saying that on our podcast so long. They still don't have any star power yet. And Jason Momoa just became the biggest star
of the DC
universe again by being Captain Lobo because Nicholas Hoult is pretty good. I saw him in Juror Number 2. But nobody knows who Nicholas Hoult is.
But what is a star worth now? We had the fail of the draft, and we had Oscar winner Joaquin Phoenix, and we had Lady Gaga.
Yeah, but they went for
massive star.
That movie went.
That was a rare. I will.
That was the completely.
You want to talk about stars? You want to talk about stars?
But that Stars movie bombed too. He lost to like Cillian Murphy movie.
You look at like the big, arguably at least a couple years ago, the biggest star on planet Earth, Dwayne Johnson. Like that guy can't move the box office for his life right now.
It's like, strange because
the age of stars is over.
Well, like there's a movie people didn't take that I almost took that is going to prove certain person's star power. I don't know if I want to say it, but no, okay, I'm going to. I'm surprised nobody's took Michael B. Jordan's Sinners. Because the Creed movies are all pretty big.
It was on our list. It was on
Coogler's got a little respect.
Is it a Coogler film?
Yeah, even on its worst day, Wakanda Forever, for what it was, still made a lot of money. So, you know, we'll see about star power. I do agree with Carlos that I think the price of the star is lower, but I will say when they're in it, they're in it. And I'll be honest, Joseph Quinn was just in A Quiet Place Day 1. He was in Gladiator 2. Pedro was in Gladiator 2.
The Last of Us, Pedro.
The Last of Us
right?
is
I mean, we're
big.
all watching that.
So like you do have The Bear is huge. You do have 4 people who are like very, very recognizable at this very second. That, you know, I think gets people excited. The only other thing I want to comment on F4 that I want to kind of like push back on is I've seen a lot of people say, and I get it, that like the first 2 rounds at F4 failed. But anytime you get the MCU tag, this is going to be like you've never seen the Fantastic Four before. It's going to be this new thing. And like to add on to something Anthony said, maybe Feige and Matt Shackman and Pedro Pascal, Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Evan Moss Backrack are going to make people like the Fantastic Four. You might have their kids in the movie. You have Galactus. You got the Silver Surfer, Julia Gardner from Ozark. So like, and then you tease Doom, and I think the Marvel adrenaline rush is back, because then you got 2 bangers next year in 2026 in Spider-Man and Avengers probably, and you got Secret Wars in 27. So they have 4 movies in the next 3 years that might smash, and then we're talking about the Marvel train again. Then after Secret Wars, they could reset, but then they got the X-Men in the can. So like that's the thing too. I think they dealt with some crap, but if you look at what in Phase 4 and 5 didn't work, it's when they tried to use the not big characters. Now they're trying to use the big characters again, and I think that's what people want. So we'll see.
But regarding the super.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say regarding Superman, Fantastic Four, and DC versus Marvel, I almost look at it like sports, right? Each team has their teams. People want the friendly competition. People want.
I love. It's gonna be fun as hell because we win if you like both. You like me.
But that's why I mean. That's why I don't think either is going to do bad. Like I don't think Superman's going to do bad because I think there is slight Marvel fatigue just based on their recent track record, recent missteps. So I think people are out there searching for an alternative. And then I think if Superman hits, Fantastic Four hits, both studios are going to thrive, and people will have their friendly competition and go see both. At the end of the day, if both movies are good, people will show up for both. If one movie's crap, people will show up for one. If both movies are crap, both movies will go to the wayside. But I think audiences crave an alternative.
I think they have similar ceilings, but I think they have very different floors. Like I think there's and sorry, I'll throw it to you, Carlos. In an unfortunate world, the worst case scenario, I think Superman's worst day is significantly worse than what F4's worst day could be. I mean, we could be looking at Flash again for Superman. We could. I mean, we have.
I don't think it's gonna be that low. I don't think so.
I
do not that low.
Or you could be looking at.
I mean, Man of Steel still managed to.
I don't think F4 will do what the Marvels did. Come on, man.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that's happening. But fair.
But Pedro will feel it somewhat. But it's like with that cast, like I've heard a lot of people complain about Pedro Pascal being in everything lately, and he's didn't move the needle for Gladiator 2. Like I think it did what it was gonna do, but I think with Fantastic Four, you have an Agatha show that I don't know anybody who actually watched that show.
It charted on Nielsen. Penguin did it.
I think it did better. I think it
did better than the Penguin. If you guys want to look at the numbers, it did better. I was a little more lukewarm on Penguin than most people. They have not reported.
Yeah, but the thing with the Penguin is that it tracks different, right? Because Max is only in the States.
Max is only in North America.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so you'll only get the number for that, right? So up here we get it on a completely different station. So then you have a what if show that nobody watched.
Sucks. Yeah, that.
So then you have a Captain America movie by all indications is going to be pretty bad. You have an Ironheart show that is probably going to be another millstone around its neck. You have a Thunderbolts movie that feels kind of tired already. And then you're going to go into I don't know. I don't think you're dealing with this white hot MCU anymore. Like I think that
I agree.
I think like some of the comments said I think it has just as many pitfalls as Superman does, whereas what Superman doesn't have that Fantastic Four does is the baggage, because like
Ooh, I
as
don't know
much
about
as
that,
people
man.
want to hang old things on
Yeah.
from the previous DC universe, it is
It
the
might
start of a
Superman. You
fresh.
might just by
You might have
virtue
Man
of
of
it being
Steel
DC,
for
Carlos.
fatigue.
I
Yeah.
can argue it's got more baggage on it just because it's DC.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I think by launching with Superman, it's like I argued about when they were trying to resurrect the old DC universe with Henry Cavill in it. I was like, his fault or not, that guy's face was the arbiter of that
Sure.
universe failing, right? So you could put him in whatever costume you wanted. You could add the Williams theme. It was that guy's face. Like
Yeah,
it
you're
was
right,
going to
yeah.
be impossible hurdle to
Sure.
overcome, which is why he was fired like with in short order of the DC
Day
universe
one.
being relaunched.
Well, he was never fired.
Yeah, he was
God,
never officially hired.
He was never hired or fired. But
He
like,
was like
so just real quick, and like I know I'm talking about, but like I've been
please,
dying
please.
for this debate, so I'm glad we're doing
It's
this because
unusual
I think
when
it's
you're talking
fun.
about
It feels like
box
2015,
office.
2016 again.
Yeah.
I just hope
Yeah.
the result is different.
Yeah, me
But you know, I get what you're saying with all that MCU pitfalls, but like that didn't hurt Deadpool, so I don't think any of that'll hurt F4.
But
potentially.
would Deadpool have been as huge as it turned out to be if Hugh Jackman didn't come back?
Well, and Deadpool.
I mean, those
ultimately-
movies made 800 apiece, maybe.
They were
Yeah,
big
they get
movies.
big money.
I
They
maybe
did more than any Superman
And
movie
if
ever
we're gonna
made.
look at years leading up, I mean,
Deadpool
guys,
did more. We will settle now today for Superman to do what any of the Deadpool movies did.
yeah, that
It
has
will be a major success if Superman
touches
this
what
movie
both Deadpool movies did.
touches what any
That's a
of the
good. That's a
Deadpool movies
good. That's a good Bremer. But also, if we're gonna do like the leading up thing, I think there's optimism for specifically Superman for the audience. But look at what the audience thinks of DC. Look at DC's last 3 years. What have they had besides the Batman that's like an actual no doubt success? I know people talk about streaming numbers of the Suicide Squad. Sure, that movie didn't do big. The first season of Peacemaker had the same numbers as Miss Marvel. So like, what are we doing here with that? Like, all of a sudden the audience is going to jump for DC. It will be Superman. It will be the most impressive thing in the world if Gunn pulls this off, because it'll show you the power of Gunn and the power of Superman and the power of him as a storyteller. But if we're going trustworthiness of the brand, I'll keep going back to this. There is nothing right now. July's a different story. There's nothing right now today during this box office draft, which impacted all of our decisions, that makes me think that Superman or DC is going to blow Marvel out of the water or even be near what it's going to do in the next 3 years. Because Superman might be big. We'll see what Supergirl does. Is Clayface going to make $1 billion? No.
No. But
So like, what's coming next? Is Swamp Thing going to make the $400 or $500 million? I don't think so.
But I think where DC is going to do well is they know how to budget. Clayface is not going to be more than $50 million production, where you have Captain America $600 million to try to get this movie
you got
off
Disney
the ground.
though, and a Marvel.
I
Like it's just, I don't think they. To be honest with you, they can take those hits. Like it's not a money thing.
They're like
it is
the
at the end of the day,
Yankees.
it's a business. But
I
it's not going to make or break a universe.
I respect you bringing up the budgets, but like at the end of the day, how much does that matter? Like, if Captain America 4 makes $500 million, I don't care what the studio lost on it. For this pool, I'm going to go, it made that much money for me, you know? And also, the whole smaller budgets thing is what Walter Hamato is doing over there. That's what they were doing before. None of James Gunn's DCU is that different, except they're starting with Superman. But if I saw Superman, if I saw Batman, if I saw Wonder Woman, if they teased the villain, instead of like 4 shows and 3 movies that you're going to now have the audience have to jump around, which James Gunn said he hates homework. He hates things being fractured. You're going to have to watch Lanterns to get an idea of the universe, right? So how he's positioning the universe is also very interesting in the next few years, because if my memory serves correct, everybody fell off of Marvel when there was too many movies and TV shows at once. And that's how we're starting the DCU. Just think about that. I haven't heard many people talk about that specific point. We're starting mostly with the DCU on television. With one really big movie, we'll see how Supergirl does.
Yeah, but
it's a curious place to be in.
The Marvel stuff all had continuous threads that ran through it, for better or worse.
For better or worse, absolutely.
Whereas the DC stuff, apparently, by all accounts, we haven't had much of it yet. outside of Creature Commandos, it's all siloed off, right? So,
but you look at that Superman trailer; it's full of characters, and there's already Frank Grillo going to be in Peacemaker season 2 as the
and
villain.
Will people want to watch
Commando
something? Will people want to watch something if they find out they don't have to?
You know what's funny? Tim, you brought up something that I'm going to try to get in every podcast you ever do, and you brought up Frank Grillo. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's trying to mention Frank Grillo on every podcast.
As long as we podcast now,
he's the biggest benefit. Besides us, he's the biggest benefiter of James Gunn taking over because he's in 3 projects right away. The guy got 3 checks right away.
He was good at Tulsa King. He was good. He's good in Tulsa King.
He was really good in Tulsa King.
I thought Lois was going to be the connective tissue, not
Frank. No, it's Frank Grillo.
Frank
Grillo, man.
He's the Sam Jackson, the Nick Fury. It's Frank Grillo.
Yeah.
I'm going to be right
Grillo
back.
is the key.
Nick, let some other guys talk because
no. I just want to tell you guys, there's no other group of people I would rather be debating this stuff with. And anything I say is because I know I can with you all, because I value all of your opinions. Well, my dad's a little less than everyone on here, but
it's interesting watching it all kind of unfold too, because there's you could I know I have a bias, and I know everyone here has a bias, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. I think that we should make an effort as a podcasting group to have more of these conversations, because I think, I'm in my own little silo now, and I miss this kind of stuff, where we can openly debate about these ideas.
These big shows.
And I think you need guys that are on far ends of the spectrum, and then a few guys in the middle, I think, to bring a bit of spice to the conversation. So it's been a lot of fun. Just throwing out these ideas, debating these things, people sitting in their camps. I'm cool with that. That's part of all of this stuff. It's the stuff that makes you happy, right? I got this whole crap load of stuff right behind me. And I think more of this is fun because it's just great conjecture. None of this is meant to be stone throwing or anything at Marvel or DC. No. And it's just fun. I think Fantastic Four is going to do great. I also think my last piece on FF is if you're looking for something that's different, I agree totally with you, Carlos, that Thunderbolts, it feels like the blueprinted MCU.
Yeah, I have no desire to see Thunderbolts.
The trailer, everything about it, it's just that could have been a movie that was came out in 2016.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, I think it's going to have this cool, Epcot-y,
noir,
Tomorrowland, 1960s kind of vibe-ish to it. That's going to make it feel different. Now, is that enough to separate it out from, Cap and Thunderbolts that both feel like, again, they could have came out in, that Phase 2 window? Maybe. I don't know. But, I think people are kind of ready for something a little different. But people also love just being comfortable. And knowing what they're gonna get when they show up for things, right? People sometimes things with Superman. The thing people are just gonna look back and be like, "Hey, I don't really know about Superman. Maybe I'll wait for it to come out in Max." But they're like, "Oh, people, I'm kind of comfortable with Marvel. I know what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna laugh a little bit. It's gonna be a cameo at the end. It's gonna maybe drag me back into this universe. All these familiar people. Oh, Bucky's in it. Blah blah blah." People love familiar, and that's what's a lot of times gonna drag. And sometimes people get afraid of the unknown or places they've got burned before, and that pushes people away from the theaters. But I don't know, who the hell knows all this stuff. We thought we knew last year and shit, and none of us knew.
Well, all I've learned from this conversation is that nobody's going to see either of these movies, and Jurassic World is going to be darling this summer.
So true.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm just glad Johansson turned into it.
Hey, Chris, I'm with you. All of a sudden, I was not into it, and then they're like ScarJo, and I was like, in with dinosaurs, Mahershala Ali. You might have
the
some
key
juice.
behind this movie is the original writer is back.
Yep.
Yeah, which is big.
Which is huge for
It's a
this.
brand new cast,
and Gareth Edwards. I don't know if you guys remember. I've been pitching Gareth Edwards to direct a Jurassic movie since his movie Monsters came out that he built on an iMac. That there is, I think, where this franchise is going to take back off. It's going to go away from escalation, and it's going to go back to the smaller, more intimate story that I think that is going to resonate with more people. Like I think that combination is where this movie is going to take off. You're talking about like James Gunn and creators and writers and all that being important. This is the difference maker in Jurassic World. It's not this. It probably will be, but I don't think it's going to be the same level of bombastic, like continual escalation that you saw in the Jurassic World franchise.
Yeah, plus it's been a few years, so yeah.
Carlos, let me ask you this real quick. Don't you think too that Gunn and you too, Anthony, like, don't you think it's unusual to like we have Superman, Supergirl, but like where is Wonder Woman? You know, where are some of the bigger characters? Like, why are they waiting so long? Like, I think, you know, you hear of stuff like Sergeant Rock and Clayface, and it's like
I'm gonna mute myself.
Go ahead.
It's a double-edged sword, right? Because people, if he did Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern all in a row, oh, they're copying the Marvel blueprint. And now that he's not, he's doing something different. They're like, well, why isn't he just doing what Marvel's doing? I like that he's doing it completely different, personally. I think it is probably in part a deliberate decision to differentiate from Marvel, and I'm fine with it.
But what fundamentally is different though? Like it's just
in terms
series of connected stories.
Just in terms of taking your main Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, your main Justice League, giving them their stories and bringing them together in a Justice League film.
I feel like they needed to do that though.
Yeah, I disagree completely.
Guys, have any of you seen a Luca Guadagnino film?
Yeah.
I don't know what Sergeant Rock is going to do for this audience. If kids are going to want to be Sergeant Rock for, like, do you know what I mean? So, like, what is there to get excited about going forward? You're going to see Superman and Supergirl, and then you're going to get a horror Clayface spin, and it's like, that's the next thing. A Sergeant Rock in a film from a director. He's one of my top 5 directors working right now. But like that's the next movie is a soldier character. You have Rick Flag, like you have these soldier, gritty, grounded characters. Like where is the big heroes to make kids and young people invigorated and to wear costumes and go out there and be like, the Justice League is coming, the DC universe is coming. Oh, here's an R-rated Peacemaker show again that kids can't watch. That he's going to be swearing and talking about, you know, sex the whole time. Like.
I can't wait for that, by the way.
Where it's going to be great because I love season 1, but like, where is this thing that's going to make DC the crown jewel right now when people are going to look across the bay and see Spider-Man and all the Avengers coming back and RDJ's Doctor Doom and the X-Men being in the movie and Hugh Jackman again, and it's going to be like, so Clayface is going to be. That's the competition.
First
for
of all,
DC.
there's no way Batman's not appearing in some supporting role in Clayface, and
I
there's
don't
no
know.
way it may not even be. It may even be the Batman we know and have been waiting for to return for 5 years now. We don't know. We'll come back to that. But
now you're onto something there. But
that's number 1. Number 2. Look, I can only speak for me. You're right. This plan. It remains to be seen whether this is going to work for audiences, Nico. 100%. You make excellent points. I'm not. I can't argue any of that. It's like what kid wants to Justice League, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
For me personally, I'm glad it's not the. No offense to all the Marvel fans on this podcast, the Marvel making cookie machine, where where it's like date a movie. And cast a movie before we even have a script or director are ready to go into production. See Blade, which is still hasn't happening.
Well, that one's really bad. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like, okay, if somebody came and pitched James Gunn a really good Sergeant Rock story and he Green's like, cool, that gets me excited because somebody came into Gunn with a vision that was good enough for him to be like, yeah, let's prioritize that right now. Again, that's just me.
That's kind of what my answer was going to be to Mr. C's question initially, is that the reason that you're not seeing them all up first is like he's trying to build a DC universe that's predicated on story first, right? That's why all the scripts have to be finished before they greenlight anything. And I think that's what they're doing with all of these projects. Like if you look at the talent behind Green Lantern as far as the writing goes and the project development, like that's crazy strong. And
oh, it's great.
And you talked about like, so you have a visionary director coming to the studio saying, I want to do a Sergeant Rock story. Why not? Like, it's not going to affect anything. And Sergeant Rock is a World War II regular dude. So he might inform things like as far as Easter eggs in your contemporary DC universe.
Could be cool.
If you could tell like a stellar story, because like if you look at it, he's doing the opposite of what was actually the Achilles heel of the original DCEU, in that it didn't have stellar, super strong stories. Like the only two films that I would argue had really, really strong scripts and were compelling films from beginning to end was the first Wonder Woman and the Suicide Squad. All the rest of them were kind of exactly that. We need to put Batman in our universe, so let's have him fight Superman and let's write the script backwards from there. We need to have the Joker show up and Harley Quinn. Well, we have the Suicide Squad book going, so let's start with the concept and write backwards from there. Whereas with all these projects, like Supergirl came about because they were inspired to write a great Supergirl story, and that was like, I don't think that when they were plotting anything out, or you look at all those old rollouts for the DC universe, she was never in the equation. However, with this one, it's because they had a strong story that was pitched to them that they're making that movie, right? And that's the way it's been with all these things going forward. Like, you have James Mangold picking up the phone and saying, I would like to make a movie about Swamp Thing for you. How are you going to say no to that? No, I want to do Batman first. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Well,
so
I think writing got to do with the studio and money too, though. I don't think the studio is willing to back them on some stuff, because I have to push back on some of that stuff. As much as you want to see that, if I'm James Gunn, I got them. I'm like, write me a Wonder Woman. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Write me the Wonder Woman movie.
You need an architect.
Write me the Batman movie. Let's go. Mm-hmm. How do we bring Aquaman back? Who are we going to cast for Aquaman? What are we going to do with the Flash? See, like, I don't. That other stuff is not going to move the needle for any general audience fan to connect.
But if you put it out to the audience and you let them consume it,
sure, it's a small pocket.
But you build that audience confidence, right? So you just had an Aquaman movie.
That's not gonna lead to the Flash or the. You need to get they have the people. I think Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers is saying time out here with the money. That's what I think is really going on behind the scenes here.
I think James Gunn has said that.
Superman costs a lot of money. This Superman movie, I'm not saying it's 360, but when you're done with marketing and stuff like that, Superman's got a big ass budget.
It's clear that the marketing is right now. They're spending a lot of money.
They're spending a lot of money on it. Supergirl to me is interesting because she could. I never read that story. It's not a kid's story, even though I haven't read it. I know enough about it to know.
Very mature.
It's not a kid friendly.
Very mature. Right. It's good, but very mature.
So my take on that is, you got nobody in that movie. You got Millie. She's on Game of House of Dragons, but she's still not House of. But
you will have crypto, though.
You're trying to catch.
You will have crypto. I just remember that.
You're trying to get the little lightning in the bottle with that, right? They're trying to catch lightning in the bottle. Female superhero, maybe a little bit like Wonder Woman, not quite as much. I'm sorry, guys. If I have the cachet and I'm there, I want the Lanterns thing. Sounds incredible, but it's a grounded series. I have no doubt Lanterns is probably going to be really good. I would have preferred to see it be a movie.
But why do we assume it's? I know he said it's dark and grounded, but you could say Damon Lindelof's Watchmen was grounded, but he still had all those fantastical elements in that, and that was a phenomenal series.
That's a brilliant point.
I'm sure it's going to have all that. But my whole thing is like, if I'm the head of DCU and I got Zaslav and them, I'm like, look, we got to do this. We need these 8 characters, and we need these characters. We got to start. And maybe they're doing it now. They might be doing it as we're talking or whatever. But it just seems like there's a lot of confusion with Batman. What you got the director of the Brave and Bold saying it's been pushed back, and then Gunn's like, no, it hasn't. Gunn has never confirmed completely that Andy Muschietti's the director. It's just a lot of weird stuff going on. So my thinking is that it all starts and has to flow with Superman. being big, and then everything may fall into place. But
I think
Gunn himself said
he
that.
said that.
Yeah, sorry, Tim.
Yeah, he's already come out and said that, like,
he has
if this doesn't go,
right? But
we're kind of
exactly.
Hooped. But at the same time, when you look at that from like a pure business perspective, there's no way WB is going to let this IP just disappear if Superman isn't successful. Right? They may go back into like a sausage factory style or really lead into the Batman and that. But if you think that Warner Brothers is going to say, Superman didn't perform, therefore we are never touching this IP again, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy.
No, but it might become more Batman centric again, though. That's probably what happens.
And regarding the confusion with Batman, I think things will be clear to us after Superman. I think they're letting Superman have his day. I think I'll go on record saying now, especially after Matt Reeves' latest quote. You can hear it here first. I haven't even said it on our show yet. I am convinced it's Pattinson now, and I am almost willing to put Monopoly money on him showing up in the post credits or at the very end of Superman.
Do you think that's a shortcut? Like they're just saying like someone said like Batman needs to be here, and Gunn said, well, I guess we'll shortcut this with.
I think it's almost. See, I could see the cynical take saying that. I think it's almost, we have a fantastic Batman, a well-received first movie. Mm-hmm. Why not? Why are we going to confuse general audiences, try to get them to fall in love with the second Batman when nothing in that first movie could contradicts anything, says Superman's not out there. Why not bring it in? Try to tie it in.
Yeah, and I don't say that as being cynical. I just say as a shortcut. It's like, how do we get Batman to the screen with like some guarantees behind it?
Well, I said on our last podcast, Phil, and I'm going to throw it to you then, that I think you could still have Batman in that Gotham and nobody else has to go there. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Phil.
No, you're exactly right. Matt Reeves has created his own little world. You can keep his own little world, but then, Pattinson pops up here and Superman and World's Finest. I mean, again, I have always said it is idiotic to have two Batman movies running around. As much as I would love it, the general audience is never going to buy that. They're never going to buy that. They at this point, you've got Rob, keep him in the cowl and let the chips fall where they may. And again, Matt Reeves did not deny. He did not deny.
But you also make an assumption that Pattinson wants to do this long term. That's your other risk.
Yeah. Well, no, but if you take the rumors, and again, everything, take it with a pinch of salt. Pattinson, if the word on the street is he's open to being the DCU Batman. Now, does this mean he's Batman 10 years from now? Well, who knows? Who knows? Mm-hmm. I mean, but then again, we're no strangers to Batman being recast anyway. I mean, they made so like it could happen down the road. But I think for a short-term fix, he's right there.
To be honest, if it does go that way, I truly think that the reason that it happens is because it's taken so long to get to the sequel. Like nothing more.
I agree with you.
That's a good point. That's the thing. It's like you can't hold up our universe because you want to tell the Gotham crime saga, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
So it would make sense just fold him in. And I think Clayface is the perfect spot to do it. Gunn isn't going to pull a Joker. Let's have a 2-hour movie that does not appeal to 80% of the audience with no Batman in it. But if you throw Batman in there, well, that weird fly Jeff Goldblum like horror movie just became more accessible because you have a Batman, whether it's Pattinson, Glenn Powell, the ghost of Jiminy Cricket. I don't know.
That's funny.
And if you think about it, and Chris, I think you were saying this in our private chats back and forth, if Pattinson becomes the DCU Batman, the delay from that original film to the sequel actually works in its favor because you can do he evolved off screen.
He's perfect gadgets, perfect age to be Prime. Yep.
He has a new suit. He has a new car. His villains are the colorful freaks we know that fit right into the universe. You don't have to explain anything except 5 years passed and Gotham has gone to hell.
Yep.
So I'm glad Anthony brought this point up because I just argued with my father and Zeddy on the last podcast for why on paper, eye test, I don't love Pattinson coming over.
I don't love it either.
I'm right with you. there, Carlos. However, I just talked about DC post Superman needing juice. If Anthony's correct, when they announced Pattinson coming over, now you're cooking with DC. Because as much as I commented on maybe the Penguin numbers aren't to the level of what I think it's said that they are, the Reeves stuff is really working. It really works. So I agree with a couple of you, Phil, when you're like, it is kind of a risk to then throw another Batman in. Because the other time they tried to have another Batman on screen last year with The Flash, it didn't go well either. So is that because people like Batman by himself, or is that because people just didn't like The Flash? I called The Flash very wrong. I feel like, I know like the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is high, but I'll be honest. As much as it pains me to say this, most people I personally know who have seen The Flash, they all don't think it's a good movie. I think to more people than not, that was not
like
a good.
what
I love it.
What
but
do
I
people
think
like about that?
Not us. I think a lot of people don't like that movie. It was very, very maimed. More than like the numbers show. When that movie came out, it was a nightmare. And I called that movie so wrong because I thought it was so enjoyable. I thought it was amazing for fans. I thought people would like Ezra Miller. I thought Keaton coming back. As much as I disagreed he was bigger than Toby and Andrew, a lot of people kind of got me thinking that might happen. I don't think the Ezra Miller controversy was like big enough for it to bomb the way it did. I think that movie at the end of the day, Carlos talking about stories, I just think at the end of the day, most people who walked into that movie walked out of it saying it wasn't that good. It's just what it feels like. Because Furiosa and The Fall Guy are two movies this year that people were screaming about nobody saw, but they're great and we love them. And I just don't think that same sentiment happened with The Flash. But now we're going backwards too much. But anyway, if they announce Pattinson, I think that's a massive excitement factor that then starts to make people look at Marvel and go, well, that DC thing, now we got Batman and Superman again. And it's this Batman we already like. It's not like they're inserting Ben Affleck. It's, whoa, we got this Superman movie that was just huge, and that Batman we all really like with that actor that everyone really likes. And now we're going to put those together, and we got that Penguin Show guy who might pop up too. Now all of a sudden, that synergy, as much as I don't like it on paper, I guess I'm sacrificing the cleanliness of it all for it being big, which I do think at the end of the day, you just need things that are big. Because the last point I'll say is, I love the idea of having good stories, but this idea that good stories always brings the audience just isn't true, because then Furiosa would have been one of the highest grossing movies of this year by all metrics. So it just, I don't know. And then I don't know.
And that leads us to a conversation about how general audiences are idiots.
I'm right there with you.
I got a real question. Enough time in the day to discuss.
We don't have enough.
I got a question though. Just on that point about like people walking out being like, has anyone ever left a movie theater? Because I personally never have, and been like, you know what? I want my money back, and I'm pissed off that I've lost 2 hours.
Lion King live action. The Lion King
really?
live action. You're fucking raging.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never had that experience where I've been like so mad that I've like sat through this thing, and I don't see near the volume of movies that you guys all see. Like I see like a handful a year in theaters, right? Like I have the option, maybe if I watch them on a streamer or whatever, I just pause it and never return to it and never think about it again. But I've never been so mad that I've been like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I want my money back.
I'm closer to you. There are movies I've hated, but never to the point I'm like, I really want my money back.
I don't even know if I've ever like hated a movie. Like even movies I don't like, I'm like, yeah, it was fine. Like whatever. Like it didn't live up to the. And I find, to be honest with you, no matter what the movie, I walk out and I'm like even if it was like, other than maybe like Infinity War and Endgame, and maybe Rogue One, maybe Force Awakens. Like, I think I always walk out. I think the hype into the movie is more exciting for me than the actual movie itself. Like, I have more fun in the build, in the hype, and the excitement. As soon as I'm sat down and watch the movie, I kind of leave. And I'm just like I always come home and it's like how was it? I was like, yeah, it was good. Like, I'll go to sleep tonight and I'll wake up tomorrow and just continue on with my life. Like, I don't have this like visceral reaction to movies that sometimes you see maybe a bit more exaggerated online with like, and like it shocked me. Like, I have yet to see the Joker 2, but it shocked me that I heard that people were like walking out halfway through that. Like, is that actually a thing that was happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, people walked out of that.
Really?
And I mean, rightfully so. I
think so too, yeah.
Is it that confusing and just be like, what the?
No, but to a lay person, right, Phil? To someone's not invested like we are, right?
Again, if you're just casual viewer walking in there and I'll check out the Joker movie, you are going to be unbelievably disturbed and confused at the same time.
If you just went up to the marquee and you were like, that one. Like, I know, I recognize that.
Well, you saw the first. Let's say you saw the first one.
You would think, oh, I know what I'm in for, and then it's what it is.
Yeah, I gotta watch this thing.
You'd be wanting your money back and maybe an apology letter from Todd Phillips. I mean, I'm still waiting on mine. I haven't gotten it yet, but no, that is, I would say, a rare time for me where I was like, yeah, this is devastating. Like, this is, I mean, maybe not quite, enough to go rage and, scream at the screen, but enough to be like, where's my apology letter, Todd? You can send it now.
It was almost like I was judging if it was me.
That's what I was like, actually,
is it so profound that it's just beyond me as an idiot? You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny you say that, Mr. C, because I kind of felt like that with The Last Jedi. I was like, surely I missed something. So maybe there is one.
We can't go down that rabbit hole.
When he threw that goddamn lightsaber over his shoulder, we can't. I wanted to just throw up. Anyways, we won't go down that. But I felt the same way leaving Last Jedi, being like, clearly I missed something and it went over my head.
No,
you didn't. You didn't.
I do want to.
I don't think that now, but when I left the theater, I was like,
I do want to open the floor, though. Real quick.
Open the floor. Let me say this, then you can open the floor.
Okay.
For me, Anthony, what you said about Pattinson. So I'm going to be 60 years old in a few weeks. I've been watching this stuff, I don't know, for 55 years or whatever. Like, the one thing I have not gotten, I could go tomorrow and be like, I've seen just about everything. The Dark Knight, Spider-Man, the Endgame, all this stuff. The one thing I'm still holding hope on for, it's not even the Justice League anymore, because I happen to like Zack Snyder's Justice League and think, I don't know that they'll ever make a better Justice League movie than that. I don't know. Maybe they will. But to see Batman and Superman together is all I've got left to see. The proper way, with the respect, the world's finest, to have those moments, not them fighting, not the bullshit. Who are you? But that's all I got left. That to me is my final thing. We could get Secret Wars, all that shit. That's all wonderful. But to see, and I look at Pattinson and Cornsweet, these guys are made to be together.
It's better than the joke I was going to make.
You got like 30 to 40 years for that to happen.
It's better than the joke I was going to make, because I'm so glad, everyone on this screen, that's the one thing he still needs to see, not his son getting married and having grandkids.
No,
I'm glad the last thing he needs to see. I'm just like the icing on the cake, right?
Well, that's also like, let's get this
looks
thing
like I
moving,
gotta looks like I gotta speed up on some of that to be included.
If Bobby crosses over right now, forget it. It's okay.
Forget it. Oh, it's so funny. I did want to give the floor to Anthony Caruso for 1 sec.
Sure.
Because a lot of people just crapped on Joker 2, and I know he loved it. So I just wanted you to have a chance to say something nice about it.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as people say.
Pitch it to me. I've not watched it. I have no interest in watching it, but pitch it to me.
It looks great.
It looks great. Joaquin and Lady Gaga give great performances, but to Phil and everyone else's point, It's not the Joker and Harley Quinn. The whole movie is about he is Arthur Fleck realizing he is not the Joker. It's like this weird deconstruction of the character and of the first movie. It is very much a second half to the first movie. I think it helped watching the first movie immediately going into the second one because it feels very much like a second half, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think it's as bad or deserves the hate people get. Give it. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Maybe I likely won't, but maybe I will.
So I know we've been here a long time. So I want to officially shut up after this, but I just want to leave you all with one thing. And this is courtesy of Zeddy. He has no idea what I'm about to do. I know. So why this debate was so fun. Not get this guy off my screen. No. Why I love today so much is the people on this screen are the biggest MCU and DC fans I know. As someone who is a DC leaning fan, and our show really was created for DC. It's a DC leaning show, even though it doesn't feel like it the last couple of years. I am so scorned by this brand that I do need to be brought back. I want to see the hope. So it pained me this whole time that I just talked about Marvel being bigger and quote unquote better at the moment. So I know I told you guys there were 2 occasions that you could eviscerate me if I'm wrong. If Cap 4 actually bombs and if Superman is not as big as we all think it's going to be. The problem is those weeks you guys won't see me because I'll be switching with the substance courtesy of Zeddy. And I'm sorry, so you might not see me those weeks if it happens, but at the end of the day, I love you all, and remember, we are all one here. We are fans. So,
can I make a suggestion?
So yes,
I think there's 7 months to Superman. I think it would be cool if we all planned somehow to see it together. I think that would be great.
That'd be cool.
We're central Chicago.
One, though, right?
We can't talk about that yet. Okay. We can. I wasn't comfortable with you bringing that up. I have a very difficult July I have to figure out. No, but we should do that, or at least shortly before, or shortly after. I think that would be awesome.
Yes, has to plan for his wedding in July. I know.
No.
Well, if Superman is a hit,
try to wrap it up quick.
First round is on Nico.
It will be gladly.
First round's on me.
Gladly. What's crazy though is if you've seen the substance, like I said, I might stay on the other side of the body too long, so you might not see me. You might not see me. Someone's gotta go scan. I have to respect the balance. So hopefully,
I still love how they included. Actually, gave.
Oh yeah, wait. My dad. I think has everyone. Wait, who here has not seen the substance? Just my dad and Tim, I feel like.
Yes. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
It was just a guess. Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like.
Sorry, for a moment I forgot that not everyone has seen the glory that is the
substance.
Have seen but if you don't like it on the screen, don't tell me. Don't tell me. He has seen Nosferatu. Right. He has seen Nosferatu, which was fun.
That's a masterpiece, right? Yeah.
Which was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, sure.
I think I only saw 2 movies.
I'd like to see a sequel to Nosferatu. I know it is kind of hard, but
Nosferatu.
I want 2.
2 with the 2.
I want a sequel.
Well
Give
played.
it to me.
And I'm calling this right now. When we do this in the future, and James Wan does the Creature from the Black Lagoon reboot, nobody can take that movie. That's mine.
Yeah.
That's
whether it comes to 20,
no problem.
Whether it's 2027 or 2028, whatever it is.
It's
Does that mean I get the Chloe Zhao Dracula?
There you go, buddy. You can have it. Absolutely.
Does that mean I get Spider-Man 4? Can we just call these now? Can we just call these now?
I take the Avengers going forward.
Yeah, Tim's got Doomsday and Secret Wars. He's got the back-to-back.
Also,
I got Sergeant Rock.
Oh, you can have that.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just teasing.
You can have that one, my friend. That one and 100 million onto that one.
Oh God,
man. Nobody took The Bride too, huh? Man, all you horror fanatics. Nobody wanted to bet
on
The
Bride. Yeah, The Bride.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, soon to be musical masterpiece.
Is that
Christian Bale?
Isn't that Netflix? Isn't that Netflix though?
No, Del Toro's Netflix.
No, I thought it was
Del Toro's is Netflix.
Yeah.
Bride gets theatrical.
Very interesting, and it's getting an IMAX release. Nobody wanted to. No, interesting. Wow.
She's no Sharon.
Well, so did The Fall Guy.
That bomb for other reasons. Anyway.
Ian hyped me up so much to pick the Fall Guy.
Yeah, he really did.
I blame Ian, actually.
You
but I love him. I'm sorry he's at work, but he was like, "That's a good pick, mate." And I'm like, "Hell yeah!" Hell yeah. And then it happened, and I was like,
really took the fall on that one. Let me tell you.
Oh. And on that note.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah, seriously. So I threw up the graphic. Everybody's got their teams. Trading swaps. We'll obviously talk off air here. I think we went on a little podcast of its own. I should maybe clip this out. This is a whole nother episode in and of itself.
Yeah, 2 episodes in this live stream.
2 episodes, literally. It's turned into a box office beyond, and then V39. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I just want to reiterate to you guys, all of you again, this is me and Carlos's image for the entire year and for the foreseeable future. Return to the GOAT. Can't wait. And return to the king, baby. Oh, right into our lap. Absolutely.
Where did we have that second, right, Nick Michael?
I was.
If anybody wants to reveal where they had movies,
it was my number 2 behind Zootopia, and I thought Zootopia would go early. And yes, I did feel really bad that I was maybe going to take it from Carlos, but I thought secretly he would be really proud. So that's what I held on to.
I would have been proud, actually.
Okay, cool, cool.
It made me puff up my chest a little bit that you had it on your list as number 2.
It should be, because what did Bohemian Rhapsody do? Almost 9?
Oh yeah,
100 million.
Yeah,
it's going to be that. He's the biggest left. Like he's bigger than he's bigger than Elvis, bigger than Bob Marley. Like he's bigger.
The only guy Carlos, the only biopic that'll be bigger than him is the Chris Brown one, but they didn't make that one yet. You know what I'm saying?
According to that one guy, at least.
Oh my God, that's the worst take in the last century or whatever it was.
Absolutely.
Or the Frank Grillo biopic.
Some guy tweeted. What was the tweet, Carlos?
He tweeted at our group there that he was that Chris Brown is bigger than Michael Jackson.
No.
All right.
And I'm just like, dude, I don't know anybody that could name 5, maybe even 3 Chris Brown songs.
No.
I only know the gum commercial song.
Does anyone want breaking news right now?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Apparently there. I mean, I think this will be big for Marvel. They are actively apparently looking to recast T'Challa.
That would be big.
About time.
There you go. Should do that years ago, but anyway.
They're just gonna super soldier his son up.
Yeah, just like a 30-year jump.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's probably a great way to put a bit in this one. So, thank you, gentlemen, as well. Best of luck to everybody here. I mean, necessarily may the best team win. I think with everybody's picture, it should definitely be a very, very interesting year. But I, of course, want you guys to tell everybody where they can find you. So, Carlos, my compadre, my soon-to-be box office winning champion, tag team champion.
Listen. I love Zeddy to death. I don't know who talked more smack than him tonight. I think I could say this because I loved him. Because I love him. God, I hope we beat you, man. I hope we beat you, dude. So next year I can talk like you did. But I love you.
Silent assassin.
Yeah. You know what? This stream has gone on so long. I started off.
When the hell did Garrett get here? This is a development.
Isn't he watching the Vikings behind the scenes playbook or whatever?
It's only been here for a minute. Hey, Garrett.
I have a screenshot of him complimenting the Chicago Bears, though.
I don't believe it.
Oh, I'll show you. Tweet the recap. I gotta see.
It'll be up tomorrow. All right. Carlos, my tag team champion. We technically have never lost the titles, by the way, but please continue.
The stream went on so long, I think I'm in the 51st state now. But
that's so funny.
Welcome, my fellow American. Welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You can just find me in the tweet streets, and every 5 weeks or so on this very show here. But yeah, Canadian Cape Crusader, and if you want to talk the things that we talked here, probably a little less comic book talk and a little more Michael Jackson, but yeah, that's the way it goes in my feed. So
yeah. Curacao, Nico, go on first.
Oh, it's usually my dad first. Now I'm thrown off. You can follow me at no. We respect the change.
Whatever.
You can follow me at Nikko Caruso, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, at Nikko Knows Film on TikTok. If you like film and award stuff this week, the SAG nominations are. If you're watching this tomorrow, they would have already happened, and I will be talking about them.
What's a SAG?
Screen Actors Guild.
Like saggy pants?
Oh, I was worried what it was going to come after that word saggy, but I'm glad you said pants. Dad, move on. It's up to you.
You can follow me at ncaruso Jr. on Twitter, and I am officially on Robert Pattinson crossing Overwatch.
Nice. Shout out to Garrett. That's an epic comment, man.
Yes.
That's funny. Who's next?
Yes, we already discussed that Canada will be the 51st state.
Hey, if I could start paying some of them Texas taxes, I'd be all for it. You know what I mean? I'm getting kind of crippled up here, but I will throw my name to the hat here. You can find me at the NerdRM, sometimes on Twitter, most times on Instagram. You can find every Friday now the NerdRM podcast. I kind of roll solo in that. And it's you want to go away from the DC leaning, you come over to the Marvel Star Wars leaning, and I lean way to that side. But yeah, you can catch me there. And if you want to see some other cool pod stuff I'm doing in the podcast space, you can also follow at Pod Summit. It's an event I run every September, and it's all podcast focused stuff. So you can check that out as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. DCU boys, thank you again for joining us. Chris, where can everybody find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. I talk a lot of different bullshit. You could find it there.
I love that.
Mr. Phil?
Well, if you haven't had your fill of me tonight, okay, I've been all week.
Do it live.
You can stalk me in the best possible way at Phil W Movies, or follow my show Phil at the Movies every Friday for the love of movies.
Beautiful. Mr. Anthony Caruso.
Well, first of all, follow all these wonderful shows. They're all great. Follow mine, Chris's, and Phil's other show, DC Unlimited, for all the DC-leaning news. I also have a other podcast called Tis the Podcast. You can follow on all social media, and you can follow my personal account at the Sanderson Bro. Not my first name, but after being kicked off Twitter 3 times, that's what I had to land on. So,
oh my. Boy,
just write that apology to Elon. He let you back.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, awesome. I am on Twitter and Letterboxd at Nick Zeddy. Of course, follow our main show at Vigilante1939 on Twitter. Leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. That really does help the show. If you watch this live, thank you so much for watching us live. We know we went probably a little bit longer than not all of you guys probably thought. So feel free to leave a comment down below what you thought of the live stream, who's going to win, movies you think are going to make the most money, all that fun stuff. Definitely want to hear from everybody. Audio recording of this will definitely be on the main V39 feed, so everybody to enjoy as well.
No, Garrett, I did not do that.
Is he still drinking?
Pull up Garrett's last comment. And now show the next one. I did not pick the Florence Pugh movie, Garrett. You'll be proud of me. I didn't do that this time.
You did not pick the Florence Pugh movie. There you go. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you, gentlemen, as well. For Carlos, for Anthony, for Phil, for Tim, for Chris, for Nico, and Mr. C. I'm Nick Zeddy, and this has been Box Office Beyond. So we will, of course, see you all to the box office and beyond. See ya.